Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
You've never worked with Quentin, have you?
No, he's never hired me.
Quentin?
He's never hired me.
And Denzel went ham on my. He was like, I'm the director. Don't you tell him what to do. And I was like, listen, this is my show.
Making a movie is a luxury. It's a gift. It's an opportunity, and most importantly, it's a gift. Obviously, everybody here is talented enough to do that, but don't get it twisted. It's just a movie. It ain't that big a deal.
Jim Carrey has always been vocal about his struggles in Tinseltown, but now he's revealing secrets about why the industry seems to despise Denzel Washington too. Is it his unwavering integrity, his refusal to conform, or something deeper?
You know, people say, oh, the difficulty of making a movie. I'm like, send your son to Iraq. That's difficult. It's just a movie. It's like, relax. I don't play that precious nonsense.
Denzel's no-nonsense approach has ruffled more than a few feathers. But could there be a darker reason behind all this animosity?
You've never worked with Quentin, have you?
No, he's never hired me.
Quentin?
He's never hired me.
Today, we uncover the real reasons why Hollywood hates Denzel Washington and why Jim Carrey is speaking out. Let's start with the explosive feud between Denzel Washington and Ellen Pompeo. Ellen Pompeo, the long-standing star of Grey's Anatomy, shocked fans when she publicly revealed details of her heated clash with Hollywood legend Denzel Washington. The incident took place in 2016 when Denzel directed an episode of the hit medical drama. While viewers loved seeing his name attached to the show, the vibe on set was far from harmonious during an episode of her Tell Me podcast Ellen shared. The story, she explained that during a scene where her character was supposed to apologize to another character, she decided to improvise saying, "Look at me when you apologize, look at me." This wasn't in the script, and it didn't sit well with Denzel.
And Denzel went ham on my. He was like, I'm the director. Don't you tell him what to do. And I was like, listen, this is my.
Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
As if that wasn't enough, Ellen decided to escalate the situation by bringing Denzel's wife into the drama. When Denzel's wife visited the set, Ellen recounted, I told his wife that he yelled at me today, and I'm not okay with him, and I'm not looking at him, and I'm not talking to him. Fans were stunned by her candor, and many criticized her for overstepping boundaries. What made matters worse was Ellen's critique of Denzel's directing skills on the podcast. She commented, Denzel's a movie star, right? He doesn't know directing TV. Although she acknowledged his charisma, saying Denzel has it in spades for sure, her remarks came off as dismissive and entitled. The backlash online was immediate, and intense social media lit up with fans calling out Ellen's behavior. She disrespected Denzel Washington and then tried to play victim to his wife. And she thinks this is a good story. I keep trying to root for her 'cause I've enjoyed Grey's so much. But the stories she tells on herself keep getting worse and worse. One user posted, another enraged fan added, who even is she? What awards has she won? She has won show one. People don't even know her name. Folks literally know Denzel's walk. Who does Ellen? Impressions, no one. Denzel does deserved better. She deserved less. And for this right here, she will perpetually deserve less. Others highlighted how she seemed to portray herself as the victim, despite her own combative attitude. This wasn't the first time Ellen faced criticism for questionable behavior in 2016. She was called out for using dark-skinned emojis, despite being white at the time. Pompeo had posted about it and E's documentary about the Ku Klux Klan. She was happy that the network changed the title, and she expressed her enthusiasm with a black clapping emoji as well as a black thumbs up emoji. When confronted, Ellen noted that she's married to a black man and has 2 biracial children, a fairly dismissive comment that suggests her association with black people means she gets it. You do realize being married to a black man and having black children can make you a target from racist white people. Right, that's a thing, she tweeted. Yeah, that's most definitely a thing. And you know what else is a thing? White people getting defensive when black people try to talk to thee about race and their experiences with racism. She eventually apologized for those she offended, saying, "I'm so sad that people attacked me over standing up for equality. I'm sad that people chose anger, and I'm sorry if I offended anyone."
And Denzel went ham on my. He was like, "I'm the director. Don't you tell him what to do." And I was like, "Listen, this is my
See where if people were insecure, I guess you'd be scared by it. But it's so much easier to just celebrate it and just thank the universe for giving us people of color.
Ellen's feud with Denzel left a sour impression on fans, with many questioning her professionalism and attitude. Meanwhile, Denzel Washington's reputation remains intact. The whole episode is a testament to the fact that respect on and off set is key regardless of one's star power. And then there's Quentin Tarantino.
You've never worked with Quentin, have you?
No, he's never hired me.
Quentin?
He's never hired me.
Quentin, what's the problem with you? What's wrong with you? Why have you not ever written a film for Denzel? What's wrong with you?
I haven't been that lucky.
In the mid-1990s, Quentin Tarantino was Hollywood's favorite provocator, shaking up the industry with films like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. Known for his sharp dialogue and bold storytelling, he was in high demand not just for his own projects, but as a script doctor if a movie needed extra flair. Tarantino was the guy to call. But when he joined Tony Scott's Crimson Tide, his sharp tongue and polarizing ideas didn't sit well with everyone, especially Denzel Washington. Their clash on the Crimson Tide set became the stuff of Hollywood legend. And while Washington has publicly claimed they buried the hatchet years later, some believe Tarantino still harbors resentment over what went down. You see, Crimson Tide is a tense 1995 action thriller about a nuclear standoff featuring powerhouse performances by Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington. Hackman plays Captain Ramsey, a traditionalist Navy officer. By 2012, the story took an unexpected turn when Washington's daughter Kia worked as an editorial production assistant on Tarantino's Django Unchained. When asked about it during an interview with GQ, Washington acknowledged the irony. "Isn't that interesting how life goes," he said, before revealing that he had already apologized to Tarantino a decade earlier. "I sought him out 10 years ago," Washington explained. "I told him, look, I apologize. You've just got to let that go. You going to walk around with that the rest of your life?" He seemed relieved on the surface. It sounded like a mature resolution, but some fans aren't convinced. Despite Washington's apology, Tarantino has never publicly commented on their falling out or the supposed reconciliation. And if you look at his career, he's worked with plenty of A-list stars. But Washington's name is notably absent, given Tarantino's famously stubborn nature. Some believe he hasn't let the issue go after all. This is the director who's unapologetically defended every creative choice he's made, no matter how divisive. Tarantino thrives on controversy, and it's not hard to imagine him viewing Washington's public confrontation as a personal slight. Moving on, we have Chris Rock. The 2022 Oscars slap incident left Hollywood shaken and sparked numerous controversies. But what it also did was shed light on an underlying tension between two industry titans, Denzel Washington and Chris Rock.
No, he's never hired me.
Quentin,
He's never hired me.
While Denzel has a reputation as a Hollywood statesman full of wisdom, and Chris Rock's comedy often thrives on controversy and sharp wit, their contrasting personas clashed in a way that many believe goes beyond just one night. On that infamous Oscars night, Will Smith shocked the world when he slapped Chris Rock on stage for a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith. The aftermath was chaotic, with Smith visibly emotional and Rock stunned yet composed. During the commercial break, Denzel Washington stepped in to counsel Smith, reportedly delivering the now famous line, "At your highest moment, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you." Denzel said to me a few minutes ago, he said, "At your highest moment, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you." Denzel's intervention was widely praised, but it may have added another layer to his already strained relationship with Chris Rock. While Washington extended his support to Smith and even prayed with him backstage, Rock appeared to be left out of that moment of solace. To many, this raised eyebrows. Why didn't Washington The supposed peacemaker also comfort Rock Washington's response to the Oscar slap, where he seemed more focused on supporting Will Smith than addressing Rock's plight, hinted at an unspoken tension. Some believe Washington's actions implied he aligned more with Smith than Rock, possibly because of a past friction between the two. The feud or perceived feud between Washington and Rock might stem from their fundamentally different approach to life and art. Denzel, often regarded as Hollywood's moral compass, has built a career on dignity and gravitas. His choice of roles and public persona reflected deep sense of responsibility and purpose. Rock, on the other hand, thrives on irreverence. His comedy pushes boundaries, often crossing lines that others wouldn't dare approach.
Y'all know what happened to me, getting smacked by Suge Smith. Everybody knows, yes, I've got smacked at Oscars by this and people like, did it hurt? It still hurts.
This willingness to court controversy might not sit well with Washington, who values decorum and respect above all. The two also diverge on how they navigate the racial politics of Hollywood. Rock's comedy often critiques systemic racism, head-on, using satire to expose uncomfortable truths. Washington, while not shying away from addressing race, tends to take a more measured and diplomatic approach, focusing on representation through his work rather than direct confrontation. Despite no overt blowouts, the tension between Denzel Washington and Chris Rock seems to persist. Their Oscars night dynamic, Washington stepping in as a mentor to Smith, while Rock stood alone, reinforced the idea that the two don't see eye to eye. Some fans have speculated that Rock might harbor resentment toward Washington for not publicly supporting him after the slap. Others believe Washington sees Rock's humor as abrasive and disrespectful, clashing with his own values. And anyway, what about Tyler Perry? When you think of Tyler Perry and Denzel Washington, you might imagine two prominent black figures in Hollywood supporting each other's endeavors. But surprisingly, their relationship has been marked by tension. Despite praying together on public stages, their differences, both personal and professional, have fueled speculation about a quiet feud between the two. Tyler Perry and Denzel Washington represent two distinct worlds of storytelling. Perry has built his empire on relatable melodramatic tales, often featuring his iconic character, Maida the wig-wearing, wisecracking matriarch, has become a cultural staple for many. But Perry's work hasn't come without criticism.
Like, well, what's this girl, Meghan Markle? Just complaining. I was like, didn't she hit the light-skin lottery? Acting all dumb like, no, nothing. I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family. They're the original race.
Denzel, known for his serious, principle-driven approach to acting and filmmaking, reportedly looks down on Perry's style of entertainment. To Denzel, Perry's work is often seen as reinforcing negative stereotypes, something he refuses to align himself with in Hollywood. It's well known that Denzel will likely never appear in a Tyler Perry production. Why? Because Denzel, a two-time Academy Award winner, values projects that elevate Black narratives in ways he believes are dignified and transformative. Perry, on the other hand, has faced accusations of selling buffoonery, a criticism that has haunted his career despite his massive financial success. One of the most glaring points of contention lies in Perry's 2010 adaptation of For Colored Girls, based on the historic 1975 Coro poem by Ntaki Shank. The original play is celebrated for its poetic monologues and nuanced portrayal of Black women's struggles. However, Perry's film adaptation received backlash for its heavy-handed storytelling and melodrama. Many fans and critics felt Perry had mishandled a cornerstone of Black art, turning a cultural treasure into yet another example of his polarizing style. Denzel, while not publicly commenting on this film, is rumored to share the sentiment that Perry's work too often dilutes the power of Black storytelling. To Denzel, every project is an opportunity to challenge stereotypes and raise the bar for Black cinema, an ethos that seems diametrically opposed to Perry's commercially driven approach, adding fuel to the fire. Filmmaker Lee has also been a vocal critic of Tyler Perry's work. He described some of Perry's productions as buffoonery, sparking a broader debate about responsibility in Black storytelling.
And Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best.
While Perry's fans argue that his movies reflect real-life experiences and struggles, his detractors, including those in Denzel's camp, feel that his films often pander to harmful tropes for the sake of laughs and ticket sales. Denzel's alleged disdain for Perry may also stem from his alignment with Lee's philosophy. Both Denzel and Lee have a long-standing professional relationship, collaborating on films like Malcolm X. Their shared vision for art as a tool for societal progress likely makes Perry's brand of comedy drama seem at best misguided and at worst damaging. Tyler Perry hasn't stayed silent amid the criticisms. During an interview on Who's Talking to Chris Wallace, Perry addressed the backlash, claiming that much of it stems from classism within the Black community. According to Perry, his stories resonate with millions because they're inspired by real people. He grew up with people whose stories deserve to be told even if they don't fit into highbrow narratives. There's a certain part of our society, especially Black people, that look down on certain things within the culture. Perry said he emphasized that his work reflects his personal experiences and the lives of people he knew, arguing that dismissing his movies is akin to erasing those stories altogether. The tension between Perry and Washington has also sparked debates among fans. Some agree with Denzel, believing Perry's work perpetuates stereotypes and lowers the standard for Black cinema. Others defend Perry, seeing his movies as heartfelt expressions of his upbringing and community. One fan put it this way: Tyler's movies aren't perfect, but they resonate with people who see themselves in those characters. Not everyone grew up in a Spike movie or a Denzel drama. Perry's work is his way of telling his truth. And then there is Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey and Denzel Washington are two legendary names, but they seem to have very different approaches to life and success, which might explain why Steve allegedly has issues with Denzel. Steve has built his career on comedy TV hosting and his brand as a relationship guru, but some say his rise hasn't been as wholesome as it appears. Denzel, on the other hand, is respected for his work ethic, humility, and dedication to his family. These differences could explain the tension between them. For starters, Steve's career is marked by allegations of dishonesty and exploitation. Comedian Mark Curry accused him of stealing jokes, revealing that Steve performed an entire Halloween routine on his show that Curry claims was based on his own experiences. Curry said, "He did my whole Halloween run, and I know he didn't think of it. That was true stuff that really happened to me." Allegations like these tarnish Steve's image as a self-made star. Now, in case you are wondering, here's the joke Curry was talking about was a trip.
You know, people say, oh, the difficulty of making a movie. I'm like, send your son to Iraq. That's difficult. It's just a movie. It's like, relax. I don't play that precious nonsense.
Denzel's no-nonsense approach has ruffled more than a few feathers. But could there be a darker reason behind all this animosity?
You've never worked with Quentin, have you?
No, he's never hired me.
Quentin.
He's never hired me.